Here's a statistic that really jumps out. Something like, 70% of top sales pros aren't even actively job hunting.
That's right, a massive 70%. It's quite striking when you think about it.
So think about that. If you're only looking at the folks raising their hands saying, I want a job, you're potentially missing out on,
Yeah,
the best people, right?
absolutely. You're missing the hidden reservoir, the game changers, and that's exactly what the sales experts have been digging into.
Right, this whole challenge.
Yeah.
How do you actually connect with these passive candidates, the ones already employed,
Yeah,
to really drive, serious sales success?
precisely. And passive recruitment, as the sales experts point out, it's not just some buzzword. It's becoming, a strategic necessity if you want a top-performing sales team.
It really is. So, okay, in this deep dive, we're going to unpack what the sales experts found. We're looking at the tools, the strategies for finding and engaging this hidden talent.
Yep. We'll cover some specific online platforms people can use.
And also the advantages of maybe bringing in specialist headhunters.
Exactly. Let's start with the online tools, because the digital world, it definitely offers some interesting paths here.
Paths to find those high flyers who aren't necessarily refreshing job boards all day.
Right. They might be open, but you have to find them.
Okay, so let's get specific. LinkedIn Recruiter. Lots of people know it, but the sales experts see it as key for passive recruiting. Why?
Well, the core thing with LinkedIn Recruiter is that proactive search function. It lets you go way beyond just posting an ad and hoping
Hoping the right person sees it.
Yeah. You can actively search based on very specific sales skills, industry background, even like what groups they're active in. You initiate the contact.
Interesting. So you're the hunter, not just waiting for applications.
Exactly. It flips the script.
Okay. Now, the sales experts also mentioned Entelo, and they highlighted its AI, artificial intelligence. How does AI help find passive sales talent specifically?
What's really powerful about tools like Entelo is how they chew through massive amounts of data. The AI can spot patterns, things a human might easily miss.
Like what kind of patterns?
Well, for instance, it might flag someone who isn't searching, but maybe they consistently blow past sales targets or just got promoted. Those are strong indicators of high performance.
So it's finding signals of success, not just keywords. Smart.
Very smart. Makes them really attractive passive candidates.
Okay, got it. Now, another one the sales experts mentioned was Hired. How is that platform different in targeting passive folks?
Hired works a bit differently. Professionals can sign up even if they're happy where they are and just kind of signal they're open to hearing about new roles.
Oh, so it's less commitment than actively applying everywhere.
Precisely. It's a subtle I'm listening signal. So they're not actively hunting, but they are receptive if the right thing comes along. Prime passive targets.
Like putting a little flag up, but quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Glassdoor. Most people think reviews, right? How do the sales experts see that fitting into passive recruitment?
Yeah, it's a bit more unconventional. But the idea is about understanding motivation.
Okay.
So if someone's frequently checking out companies in your sector, or maybe, venting some specific frustrations about their current job on Glassdoor.
You're reading between the lines.
Exactly. It might suggest they're passively unhappy, or at least curious about alternatives. It's a clue they might be open to a conversation. Needs a bit more detective work, perhaps.
More nuanced tactic.
Okay.
And Indeed resume search.
Yep.
We all know Indeed for job postings.
True, but their resume database is enormous. And crucially, it includes tons of people who uploaded a resume maybe months ago and aren't actively applying now.
So you search the database directly.
Right. Use your sales keywords, experience levels. You can find and reach out to passive candidates who probably haven't even seen your specific job ads.
Gotcha. And the last one, often forgotten maybe, employee referrals. The sales experts really emphasize this one.
Oh, hugely important. Think about it. Your best salespeople, they probably know other great salespeople.
Makes sense. Good people know good people.
Exactly. And these are people who might not be looking, but they trust your employee's recommendation. Plus, referrals often come pre-vetted in a way. Better culture fit, often higher retention too. It's powerful.
Okay, so that's a great rundown of the online toolkit. Really insightful ways to use those platforms. But let's switch gears a bit. The sales experts also talked a lot about specialist headhunters.
Right, the strategic angle.
What's the big advantage there, especially for finding passive sales talent?
Well, probably the biggest thing is access. Specialist headhunters, the good ones, they have networks that go way beyond job boards or even LinkedIn sometimes.
Deeper networks.
Much deeper. They've spent years building relationships in specific sales niches. They know the top performers, the ones who aren't publicly visible, who might never apply for a job.
Wow, okay, so they're tapping into that truly hidden, maybe even elite pool.
That's often the case, yes. And another huge benefit the sales experts point out is targeted recruitment, meaning a specialist really digs deep to understand your company, your culture, specific sales goals, the exact profile you need. Then they tailor the search precisely for that fit. It's not a scattergun approach.
Much more focused. That sounds incredibly valuable, especially if you're hiring for a really key sales role.
Absolutely. Which ties into the next advantage, saving time and effort. For busy sales leaders, hiring managers, who has the time for endless searching and screening?
Right, it can be a huge drain.
A good headhunter manages that entire process, the identification, the initial quiet outreach, the in-depth vetting. They only bring you highly qualified, genuinely relevant passive candidates.
There's less noise, more signal. And presumably, that leads to better quality candidates overall.
Generally, yes. Experienced headhunters develop a real knack for spotting top sales DNA. They look beyond just the resume, assessing things like drive, resilience, strategic thinking, stuff that's critical for sales success but hard to gauge quickly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the sales experts also mentioned confidentiality. Why is that so important with passive candidates?
Well, think about sensitive hires. Maybe you're building a completely new sales division, or perhaps replacing a senior executive discreetly.
You don't want competitors or even your own team knowing prematurely.
Exactly. A headhunter can run that entire search completely under the radar. They protect your strategic interests until you're ready to make the move public.
That confidentiality is crucial for those high-stakes hires, like finding that game-changing VP of sales without tipping your hand.
Precisely. So the key takeaway from the sales experts here is, if you go this route, choose carefully. Partner with a reputable headhunter, someone with proven sales industry experience.
Makes sense. Do your homework on the headhunter, too.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. For sales leaders, execs, hiring managers listening, if you want that top-tier sales talent, the ones not actively looking, the sales experts basically lay out two core paths, right?
That's right. Path 1, get smart with online tools. Use things like LinkedIn Recruiter, AI platforms, maybe even referrals for direct engagement.
And path 2, consider that strategic partnership with specialist headhunters, especially for those really critical roles.
Exactly. So a few quick, actionable thoughts maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. Take away one.
First, actually look at integrating some of these tools. LinkedIn Recruiter, maybe an AI tool like Entelo. Make proactive outreach part of your regular talent strategy.
Okay. Takeaway 2.
Don't sleep on your own team. Build a real employee referral program. Incentivize it. Your current stars often know future stars.
Good one. And the third takeaway.
And third, for those really vital, maybe confidential, hard-to-fill sales positions, seriously weigh the value a specialist headhunter brings in accessing that top-level passive talent.
Great summary. So the final thought for everyone listening, perhaps prompted by the sales experts themselves, is what untapped potential is sitting there right now in that passive sales talent pool?
Potential that could really redefine your team's future sales success.
Definitely something to think about. Time to maybe start exploring these strategies more deeply. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.